Also saying we're muted. No, I'm not muted. No,
I'm not muted.
Sure. Yeah, Simon isn't muted either. It's just
I just got back.
Just background noise coming in, I think. But yeah, we've got another match coming up. A fairly high profile one already. This is a winners 3. And we have 2 very good racers. Both did very well in previous mystery tournaments. We do have Adam numbers, Adam5396 or Ferris V5, who won, I think, MT 17, 16. Sorry, I'm trying to. I think it was 16. It wasn't the last one, that was Triscore, but the one before that was won by. Oh yeah, it says on the card. My bad. And on the other side, we have Neetsel, who's a bit more of a more recent MT competitor, but has joined a few. Has joined MT16 for his first tournament and also did very well. Got into the top 8 even, finished 7th in the best placement.
Yeah, especially in that first tournament there, and that's very impressive.
And since this is a winners 3 already, we're a little bit into the tournament, we can look at their previous matches. So Adam, as a former winner, was seeded, started out in the second round. So they only have 1 match so far against Desta in Star Grove Scramble. Trying to remember, I feel like it's somewhere on the edge of my memory, but now I can't quite remember what that was. And on the other side we have Neetsel playing against Omega Number in Kyato Ninden Teande or Samurai Pizza Cats, classic NES platformer. And playing against Zerfall in Amazing Penguin on the Game Boy. So Neetsel so far only had very classic retro games, I'm noticing. Looks like we have a game picked out. So I'm looking at the website for this game. Looks like it's a pretty classic retro game, I wanna say. Definitely of an older vintage. But what I noticed, what sticks out, there's one comment on it and it says, "This game is incredible, the gameplay is incredible, game design is incredible, everything is amazing." No punctuation.
Yeah, and everything in all caps too. That's how you know it's gonna be good. Yeah, it does look like an interesting game. I'm really excited to see this one.
Looks like we might get more golf in a sense here. Alright. Got a game. And game is Solidify. An older game from Game Jolt. Game Jolt is always interesting to see. It's not... I'm not sure if it's really used much anymore. I do think there's still some activity, but anytime we get Game Jolt games, it's usually something that's already quite a few years older.
Yeah, this one says it was made for Slime Jam 2000, which I'm hoping is not the year, and maybe it's just a funky theming or something for that one. Oh yeah, it says it was published in 2017, so it's not that old.
Right. Like we're ready to go. And we're starting kick to jump. So as I said, this does seem like a bit like a golf game. Sideways
Yeah,
golf.
absolutely.
That's one of my favorite variants.
Yeah, so this is a real interesting one. The main mechanic here is that the trail which you travel becomes a solid platform that you can then land on and bounce yourself off of in future.
Oh, that probably lets you do a lot of smart speed stuff if you plan that out well. Both of them climbing up here using the... Oh, okay, so it takes a bit for the trail to solidify, as the title says.
Yeah, it looks like it's like a one-shot delay, which makes sense. Yeah, like this is, I like this in theory already. It lets you be a little more creative with how you approach your shots. There's not like a single path through. You can kind of adjust things based on where you're at very easily and just get a little creative with it.
Adam doing a straight up jump. I'm not sure there was any specific intention behind that. Like, it doesn't seem like it's not repositioning you. It's not really giving you a new ball or something. So far, they're still pretty even. Same stage. Neetsel gained a little bit of a lead just now, but yeah, they're still pretty much in the same place. Can Adam make the jump into the goal there? Tries to hop into the square, I think. Oh, do you have to stand in the goal, or how does
I guess
this work?
you have to stand in it, I guess. I mean, it just says get to the green square, but yeah, we clearly saw that just go straight through the square and not... So I guess maybe you do have to land in it. Yeah, so on to the next set of levels. As the pastebin notes, every time the background changes, there is a new mechanic. This one being what appears to be spikes.
Yeah, it looks like this one requires a very careful route here. Sometimes the spikes are on the side, sometimes they're up and down.
Yeah, Neetsel making quick work of that stage.
Oh, interesting. Can you get stuck on the wall there? Does the ball stop on the wall?
Yeah, it does look like it sticks to the walls and
oh, even the ceiling for Adam there, yeah. I guess it's not quite as golfy. So when doesn't it stick? Does the ball ever bounce? Does it ever hop away?
It doesn't look like it. It just... You go and where you land is where you land.
Looks like there's an undo mechanic. We just saw Adam jump back a step. Which makes sense, because I guess otherwise you would just, like, fill up your whole stage.
Yeah, you do have to be a little careful there. You know, you do have that one stroke buffer before your line becomes solid. So you want to make sure you're not in a position where you're going to get trapped behind your own trail. We saw Ferris there having to undo a little bit further just because they were in a position where one more shot would have blocked
The
them
angle
off.
doesn't seem very fine-grained, I guess. You can see the different angles it's snapping to, so that also makes it hard to get through these gaps, I think. Like, you can't just aim through the gap. If you're not positioned well, then your angle might not snap to the right position. Adam trying to build a wall here. Oh, succeeds. Very nice. Gets a wall to climb up. Looks like Neetsel might be going for something similar. I think if you're doing it too high, then then you have to stay above your line. That makes it harder. Adam jumped all the way down and then had a wall to climb up. Neetsel's still aiming higher. Okay, aims fairly low. That should work easily enough. And Adam ahead a stage here. Making themselves a little wall to climb here. Yeah, that's a nice strategy. Just doing a single hop straight up to get yourself a wall, and I guess you can repeat that process. Yeah, Adam making another wall. Neetsel in the meantime managing to climb up here. Now just has to get down through the spikes again. And I say just, but yeah, it's not super easy. We saw this spike gap they had to jump through earlier. Okay, but at least death doesn't really reset your stage or anything, so it's not too much of a risk, I suppose. You can just trial and error through. Adam pulling another stage ahead here. I guess here we'll see. Do you just have to get into the green square, or do you actually have to stand there? Well, this time Adam bounced off the trail. Okay, then I guess I don't really understand when you bounce off and when you don't, because in general they can stand there, but sometimes they seem to bounce off. And Adam gets a new color here, I think, a new mechanic. I guess those are switches, okay.
Yeah, recognizing that we're gonna be walled off.
Neetsel here with a more chaotic but maybe faster wall climbing technique that required fewer jumps. Didn't build a separate wall to climb up. So this is basically one of those Hamiltonian path puzzles now, right? Where you're kinda not allowed to step on something you've been before. With these switches, you kinda have to plan out your path.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, you definitely want to make sure you're doing them in the right order. Neetsel approaching the end of the spike section.
Yeah, trying to carefully build some ground to stand on here. There's not really any ground on the right side. I guess you could go from the bottom to the top right, kinda, but otherwise there's not really much to stand on. Not much to connect there with all the spikes. Neetsel's trying to find some good space to stand on, to build more.
So close.
And here, sometimes I saw on Neetsel's trail that it would bounce off. Oh, makes it to the wall, very nice. Builds a bridge. Can you stand here though? Okay, makes it. Also gets to the switch section. Adam is a few stages ahead still in the switch section. So far these stages seem fairly quick. Neetsel figuring out a quick path through the switches.
Yeah, these switch stages are going by really fast on Adam's side. Neetsel making their way through the switch maze. Absolutely just having no issues with this.
Might have blocked the path. No, okay, they can't fit through. Nice.
Oh, yeah, that was a little tight, but yeah, he got through.
Adam, in the meantime, carefully building their mountain to jump off from. Oh, undoes a bunch of steps. So it kind of seems like maybe the angle in which you're hitting the wall might change if you're bouncing off. Sometimes I see the cursor showing that you would bounce off. So this stage seems to have slowed down Adam quite a bit. Took quite a while to build the mountain here, and now they have to hit the switch and get out as well. Looks like they made it.
Yeah, just okay. Barely, but...
And we get a new background color, a new gimmick. These timed barriers. So far we haven't had any timing elements. It's basically turn-based.
Neetsel seemed to be having some issues hitting these switches.
Yeah, it looks like the range of your shots is pretty limited. Like they never go super far. You can't really change the distance, and the angle also snaps to specific values, so you can't really move too freely. Looks like if Neetsel makes it down from here, that should be it. Oh, but all of these jumps go into the spikes.
Yeah.
Maybe if they could make it to the ceiling. Maybe that also is out of range.
Oh, there we go.
Adam has a fun jump here through these spikes that requires some very careful shots.
Oh, this looks awful. And Neetsel recognizing they have to go for the one on the right first to not create an impassable path. Just a matter of getting the game to cooperate. Seems to get by it. Not too much problem though.
Has both switches down. Oh, Adam has a pretty challenging stage here as well. So they mix up the mechanics now. We've got these switches, and also you have to plan out the path so that you don't block yourself.
Yeah, and I believe we saw in the last level too that these are like lasers or something. If you touch them, then you have to like redo your shot.
Neetsel now also in the stage where Adam spent quite a while building a mountain to climb on. I feel like Neetsel is going a lot faster here. We'll see if that helps them catch up a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think ideally what I would be trying to do here is to try and hit that switch on the way in. Just because you don't really bounce around or anything. If you try and hit it on your way out, I feel like it's going to be a lot harder. You can't get in there and like bounce off the wall. You kind of either have to hit it on the way in or get far enough into the hole to hit it on the way out.
Yeah, and you also can't make a wall and climb up like in that one earlier stage, because then you'd block your path to the exit. So Neetsel very carefully building around here. Almost got to the switch. Adam is dealing with some difficult barriers here. So there are two barriers that are that have different on-off states. So you can't jump through. You have to land in between somewhere to hit the wall.
Yeah, it's important to recognize that those barriers only switch once you land. So you have to make sure to land somehow between those barriers in order to be able to get out.
Is that different now? I thought they were timed earlier. Did that change, or was it always? Did it always?
I think it was always that way. Okay. It just might have been it was going so fast that maybe it just looked like they were timed. But I think they are shot based.
Seems like quite a difficult stage for Adam. Retracing their steps.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of room to work with in this little quarter either, and every shot you make just blocks more and more of it off. You really have to be cognizant of where you're going and what kind of position that is going to leave you.
And Neetsel also seems to be having quite a difficult time with this stage. I was saying earlier that they were going so much faster than Adam, but I guess that didn't quite pan out for them. Just needs one good shot onto the switch, but looks like they're not close enough yet.
Oh, there we go. Adam gets out of there. Now just has to find a way to get to the goal. Nails it.
Oh, there's a very different look now. I think that's the one where the shot trail doesn't stay solid. Oh, maybe it's... Okay, yeah, it disappears after a while.
Oh, okay, I see. The ID is saying this is the final world. So yeah, Adam has a whole world lead on Neetsel right now.
Yeah, Neetsel still struggling with this. Has reset completely a few times, I believe, or at least undone a lot of progress.
That floor is indeed wiggly.
Yeah, it has a really weird wiggly effect. I was wondering if that does anything, but doesn't really look like that has any effect. That's a tiny gap for Adam to jump through. And then you have to stay around for a while, I guess, until your trail disappears.
It doesn't seem like it's consistent between levels how long that takes either. That last stage, it looked like it was going away after only 2 or 3 strokes. That one's taken around a lot longer.
And for this
Yeah,
stage
this
as well, they have to wait around until the shot disappears. Oh yeah, that's a lot more shots. But so it doesn't erase the whole shot. So I think it's distance based. It basically keeps a
it could
certain amount of
be.
distance. And this looks like a boss almost. Does this thing attack? Maybe that's just the final switch or something. I'm
Yeah,
assuming
it
this
did
is the
look.
final stage.
Yeah, it did look like the levels where the trails are going faster were made up of longer shots, as opposed to something like that last stage we have like a bunch of really tiny ones. So maybe it is just based.
Neetsel still doesn't quite make it to the... Oh, there we
Oh,
go.
oh.
Gets a good shot on the switch. Not just has to get to the exit. And also gets to the barrier world now. But that means that Neetsel is basically 2 worlds behind. Got held up a lot by that one stage just now. And for Adam, it looks like this boss is aiming for them, so it's a fight after all. Ah, the enemy beam is something you can stand on. Okay, so you have to be careful where you aim, where you bait its shots at, so to not block you off.
Ooh, that was a interesting corner bounce there. Really beneficial for Adam there. It's a really good angle.
Looks like the enemy's shots don't disappear. So I wonder, is this already blocked off?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, Adam undoing a lot, going the whole way back here. Looks like in this state they might still be able to make it. There's that one switch on top. And then they just have to go around. But yeah, looks like the enemy's lasers, the enemy's shots here are an important factor because they will block off a lot and they don't disappear.
Did that laser hit the switch too?
Oh, did it? Okay, that might make things easier.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be rough. Oh yeah, it absolutely hit that switch. Yeah, so I guess especially on those inner ones, you know, it's entirely possible that you could maybe try and bait the enemy to hit some of those. It's just a matter of if Adam realizes it or not.
Looks like Adam has a pretty clean stage so far, only has switches in one corner left.
Neetsel struggling to get up to this end goal. I don't think has tried the go straight up, build a wall strategy yet that I've seen.
That's a dot down from Adam. The time of 22:22.
Hey, how about that? Yeah, that was quite impressive. Looked like a really fun game. I might have to go play this now myself.
Yeah, it looks like we had this before. It's an MT flashback, so popular enough to be played in multiple tournaments.
Actually, it was an old top 8 game from what ID was saying too. So. Neetsel definitely taking a long way to get to this goal, but seems to be making steady progress at the very least. All right.
Hello.
Hello.
Congrats, that was a very, very nice run there.
Thank you. That was a fun little game. Just very simple concept. It's you know, the sort of thing you see a lot of in MP, but it's a fun little one. I can see why this would have been in top 8.
Yeah, it had some fun mechanics. Was there anything you were struggling with particularly?
At first it was mainly finding a good way to like waste a shot so that the line behind me would solidify. I sort of had to get in the mindset of like you can't bounce back and forth. You gotta like you gotta do 2 hops and then double back on yourself.
So what?
Otherwise,
I think what I noticed in several places is like the angles you can shoot at are very coarse grained. Like you can really tell the how they're snapping to certain directions.
oh yeah, yeah. There's limited angles, so you sort of gotta just try like figure out what the game will let you aim at, and then just go from there. If you're gonna hit a corner, try it because you can always undo. And yeah.
Yeah, so often you can't just aim and make a good shot. You have to set it up in advance.
Like that one where you had to drop straight down through the very small gap in spikes. There's no way you're doing that with the angles. You gotta get on top.
Yeah, there were a few of these stages where you have to make a really tight spike gap. But it looks after the first one, both of you had that figured out pretty well. There was that one stage in the Switch world where you have to, where basically the whole left half is empty and you have to build a lot of stuff up just to get up to one switch. Both you and Neetsel were stuck there for quite a bit.
Oh yeah, I think I know the one you mean. Yeah, it's a little bit jank because you can't block yourself off, so you're just spending most of it avoiding triggering something, really. And yeah, I mean it's a natural thing to include in a puzzle game like this, but it definitely leads to a lot of finagling the lines behind you.
Yeah.
Oh, and this one Neetsel's on was like, because like already this is impossible. Yet, like this first jump sucks.
Yeah, they already had blocked off that. That's so. I was comparing that to like Hamiltonian path puzzles because you always have to figure out how not to block your path, where you're allowed to step, because you can basically
Pretty
only
much.
step there once in a way.
Goodness, it's yeah. I think if you were just like just a slightly smaller gap, so you didn't have to go right to the edge and then onto the ceiling, this one level would have been a bit nicer. But you know, it is what it is.
So did you have a favorite world? Every world has its own gimmicks.
Oh, definitely the last one, because you didn't completely screw yourself over with a single jump early on. That's the easy answer.
It's also interesting that they end the game with a boss fight. That was well, I guess kind of a boss fight at least.
Yeah, just it shoots its own lines out that won't disappear over time, but it can also hit the switches for you.
Yeah, did you use the enemy's beams to hit switches
Oh yeah,
intentionally?
the one just above it in the middle, I actually hit that with its own laser, because that way I didn't have to go down and back up through the alternating beams.
Neetsel making it to the final world now as well. Oh, has forfeited. Okay.
Oh,
Maybe
that's too bad.
maybe we'll hear that they didn't like the game or something. Okay, looks like Neetsel's gonna join us in chat as well. And we're being joined by Neetsel now. And we're being joined by Neetsel now.
GG on the win.
Oh.
GG on the win.
GG.
Oh,
G.
turn down the volume. There we go. So you forfeited, did you not like the game, or was it just like
No,
trying to
it
end the
just
match?
frustrated me like really like quite a lot. It's like I don't get the logic behind the arc. It's like from time to time, for some reason, I will get it like really short, and there was a level where I got stuck and I got like super frustrated with the controls. I think the concept is nice, but there's something with the controls that I just didn't get. So yeah, I mean, when I saw that I was just entering the I imagined like still 5 levels. I mean, I've it's 1 a.m. I had enough.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's fair.
Totally fair.
So initially, you both did very well. There was that one big blocker stage where you have to build a large mountain so you can jump up to that one switch. I think that took Neetsel a bunch more time than Adam.
Yeah, it took me a really long time. I just didn't understand why the arc was that way. So at some point I was wondering, is it based on like the angle that the direction that your character is facing or something like that? It just I got super frustrated on that level.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's the controls, but at least it seems like the shots you can make are very limited. That's definitely a big difficulty.
Yeah, it felt a bit weird. But it's a cool concept. I like the idea. It's just there was something in the execution, like I don't know. It felt like some angles I should have been able to do shots, and the game didn't let me to do them. And yeah.
Now, one thing I was confused about watching is sometimes the ball seems to bounce off of the line. But
Yeah,
very rarely.
yeah, it's like that's something that I also didn't get. Like why? It's like as well from time to time you would just be on a line and you couldn't just shoot yourself up again, and I didn't understand why.
Yeah, I never figured that out either.
Alright, so this was a winners 3 match already. You're a bit ahead of the curve. Adam goes on to face GFM in the winners bracket, and Neetsel is quite a bit ahead of the rest of the tournament. Not only do you not have an opponent, the previous match does not have an opponent yet.
Doesn't have any competitor at all.
Yeah, it might be a while until you can play your next match.
That's fine.
It happens that way sometimes.
Alright, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I'll be at the AGDQ next week, so if you want to say hi, feel free to do so, since first time going there, never met anyone.
Oh, very nice. Hope you have a lot of fun there.
And if you want to see more of me destroying games, come follow me at Faris_V5 on Twitch. I'm good playing many a game. It's a good time. If you have any other uber challenging games, send them my way, please. I beg of you. I'm running out of difficult games.
You'd think that that's an infinite well.
It's infinite unless you have taste, and you're like, I don't want a game that's just like RNG, like failure. I want skill, I want design, and you're like, oh, that's very limited.
Have you tried the dead with better gameplay?
I can't say I have.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun modifier for that. Right, I think we have another match setting up soon. So thank you so much for joining me. Oh, I know. I think
see
there's
ya.
something else going on. Yep.
Farewell.
See ya.
Congrats.
Congrats. While we're setting up, let's hop to the coming up screen for a bit. The match that's on the schedule right now isn't here anymore, but we have another one in 2 hours, and then there's several matches tomorrow. So mystery tournament still in full going full speed here. Still I think like half the tournament maybe to go, judging from the launch.
Indeed, yeah. Some of these matches too look like they're gonna be quite crazy for being this early in the tournament too. It should be a lot of good stuff coming up.
It looks like maybe the next match is delayed or not going anytime soon. If one of the players might be called in for work, we'll wait a few minutes, I think. Chat is asking to talk about cool video games. I will turn that question right back. Chat, do you have any favorite games you've seen so far this MT18? Or maybe what's your favorite golf game you've seen so far this MT18? We just had a game that's kind of like golf. That counts. Anything where you basically where you aim something ball-like and shoot it around, I guess.
Does John Wick count? I mean, bullets are vaguely.
I mean that's a very wide interpretation of golf in that case. But yeah, sure, let's count. It is MT hole 18, so maybe every game is golf. I didn't catch that John Wick race, but I think I played that game. How was that? I think I considered it for MT, but I think it was kind of short.
Yeah, it wound up being decently short. I think everyone had a lot of fun with it. Definitely, Free Stream had a lot of fun with it, which definitely helped. Probably my favorite Restream match thus far. Game itself looked pretty interesting too.
Yeah, Neetsel in chat asking there was a John Wick race. There's a John Wick NES action platformer bootleg. I think it's basically just one stage or something with a boss fight. It's kind of like a Contra, I think.
To organize a 100-foot robot golf tournament. So what other golf games have we had?
Omega Number's favorite was that rechecked with the crazy bike and the old French guy. Do I remember that game? Crazy Bike and the Old French Guy.
Trying to remember. I think I didn't see that one. I think Gon sent me the trailer for that afterwards, and it looked just really silly.
Yeah, I feel like MT is a great way to discover games, both retro games and even new ones, because we do get a bunch of Steam demos and stuff like that. Always happy to see all kinds of crazy games I haven't heard about.
Let's see, what else have we raised that was interesting? I mean, I'm always a fan of Small Ame. I mean, as a VTuber fan, I'm always glad to see that one in MT.
Yeah, that one's great. Good early game for this tourney. So we're already 119 games in, looks like, with some redraws, but about that size. Chat mentioning Eve, Gum, Loop Room. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Eve, which is also because it's my sub, but I really like that game.
Was that the one with the
dual stick
the
walking?
Yeah, I need to play that one. That looked pretty interesting. Yeah, Loop Room, pretty solid if you like games like that. I think I wound up buying that and Reverse in the winter sale, because they're both fairly similar. But yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Trap Tower, so that's just right up my alley.
Kuviti saying they liked the game I played. I think that was Axel with 2X, also a Game Jolt game, I think, and so an older indie.
Oh yeah, that one looked really neat. Yeah, I think I only caught like little bits and pieces of that because I think it happened like while I was at work. But really, really interesting concept. Definitely want to check that one out for sure. Bemis is a fun nightmare, indeed. Unfortunately, we had a little issue with that when it got drawn. Who knows? We might see it later on. We might not, but that was a thing.
I really liked the last game I got for a match. Happy Hula Hoopy. That was a fun older previous style game. And it's especially memorable for me because we managed to preserve that game basically. Both Google Drive and Archive didn't like our uploads because apparently they trigger malware false positives, but we managed to repack the game that in a way that doesn't trigger that. That's always nice.
So what's the best named MT game we've had so far? Happy Hula Hoopy is
that's already a pretty good name. Going through names here.
So I like
most of them pretty obvious and short.
Yeah. I would put Rugu Attack up there. Just in terms of names specifically. It just feels sort of nonsensical. To my knowledge, has no context provided to that in the game whatsoever.
I think I'm gonna put in Shrek Hassle at the Castle as my good name pick. The name kinda already feels like the way the game's playing, I think. Definitely one of the more jankier games.
Yeah, Lockpick was a Wanna Be the Guy game. Yeah, that one looks pretty interesting. Very long. I think someone was saying the demo itself is like 12 worlds, and there's a lot more content planned for it. How many Froggers have we had?
I remember at least 2, but yeah, Frogger games
1, 2.
keep cropping up.
Yeah, I'm saying 2, unless I'm missing one. Let's see.
Mad Gear was a great arcade pick. Arcade games are kinda rare because they often don't work too well as a race with their credit-eating design, or with like typical arcade genres like shmups are also not the best pick for Mystery Tournament often.
Mm-hmm. I think as far as like some of the more creative games we've seen, I really liked What Goes Up. It was a very interesting concept. I quite enjoyed that one. Ring Shot, I think I caught the VOD of, and I thought that one was pretty interesting. Some really cool conceptual things in that one. See, and Gacho still gives me nightmares. Those game over screens. Something else, that's for sure. I don't know if I'll ever forget that. Ghost in the Shell stands out. Depone Noob?
The PlayStation 1 game, it's a very good game. It's by the... what's it called? Jumping Flash? Yeah, that's the name. By the Jumping Flash developers.
Ooh.
And it's
Okay.
like vaguely related to that. You play the little spider tank robot from Ghost in the Shell. And he can run on walls and ceilings. IcoVT is asking which game is this guy from. That's Butsubushi, which is a PlayStation 1 game. We played the puzzle mode, which is kind of a Sokoban. Funnily enough, the main game mode of Butsubushi is more like Bomberman. It's not really puzzle based. It's like, I think you push boxes, you kick boxes into other people or something. Yeah, that key is from the puzzle mode. There's a number of weird Bomberman-ish games on PlayStation 1. I played one recently that's called Grids, the Pyramid Adventure. That's like Bomberman, but instead of bombs you can trigger sand avalanches that wash the enemies away.
Yeah, Bombo was like Bomberman plus Pac-Man, yeah. pretty solid little arcade-like game there. Yeah, itch can be a pretty good site if you're looking for MT stuff. We get quite a few submissions from itch, so definitely a lot of stuff out there.
Also, one of the few sources where we actually get new games from, I guess. Like,
Yeah,
we're rarely gonna get new console games except for homebrew sometimes.
Oh,
the Dharma
the
matching puzzle game, that's Dharma Dojo on
Yeah.
arcade and SNES, I think.
Yeah, I need to give that another go. I either played it in a prior MT or somewhere in a race, and I just was not getting it. And but I've seen it a few times since then, and it actually looks a lot. Like, I feel like if I played it like outside of a race condition, I would have enjoyed it a lot more. That's a pretty fun one. Definitely a more unique puzzle game.
I really like drop puzzles like that, or I guess it's kind of a vaguely a drop puzzler, but they can be hard submissions for MT. Like, if there's no puzzle mode or something like that, then just getting random blocks for your game, that's also that's often difficult to use for a race.
Right. Yeah, we definitely don't want stuff being decided on that much RNG. Yeah, Time Ocean demo was pretty decent. Pretty decent race, pretty interesting little Sokomon game. Did I add that to my wish list? I don't remember. I should if I haven't. I mean, if there's one thing that can be said about MTs, like, I feel like I always walk away from a tournament with like 60 more games to add to my increasingly growing backlog. There's just so much good stuff that gets shown off, and I just want to play all of it. Okay, how do I not have Time Ocean on my wish list? I'm gonna change that right now.
By the way, chat, here's our public list of played games. If you're looking for games that we've played, is the list you can look that up on.
Well, it looks like the match that was supposed to be happening is getting postponed due to IRL circumstances.
Yep, that's fine. So, and that's gonna be it for this stream. There's another match in not quite 2 hours coming up. We'll see if it's gonna be restreamed, so check back in not quite 2 hours. Thank you so much, Simon Buffalo, for joining me in commentary.
Oh, thanks for having me. Thanks for
And
restreaming.
Thank you everyone for watching.